Here is a comic I was looking forward to reading, and I didn't think anyone was looking forward to me reviewing. This is Brothers in Arms #1, and this was a 3-issue story, or miniseries as it were, that ran in 1995, starring War Machine, Hawkeye, and U.S.Agent. I have spoken about how I got into comics, or back issues rather, through Marky Mark J's Captain America and that little magazine thing I had when I were young. I quickly expanded on Captain America by wanting to read all of U.S.Agent's appearances in Avengers and then Force Works. But there was one series I could never find. It was this. And the problem was, the internet was still, at least in terms of information, still in its infancy. I could not find out any information about this. I couldn't even find a scan. The reason I couldn't is because it is actually a flip book. All 3 issues of Brothers in Arms are on the reverse side of issues of Force Works, Iron Man, and War Machine. It is a stupid idea, and I think we can all agree on that. In this, War Machine is the lead character, Roddy Rhodes, my preferred Iron Man. It is my belief that Marvel, restoring Robert Downton Abbey Jr. to being Iron Man full-time after Iron Man issue 200, was one of the biggest mistakes of 80s Marvel. I think it was important to let Robert Downton Abbey Jr. become Iron Man again for that fight with Jeff Bridges. But after that, he should have relinquished his role to Roddy Rhodes and admitted that he has too many problems to continue being Iron Man and maintain all the responsibilities that come with it, while also trying to improve himself. That's not to say I didn't think Robert Downton Abbey Jr. should not be allowed to wear the armour ever again. I just think it would have been better if Roddy Rhodes had stayed the main Iron Man. Then it would also have the added bonus of diversifying most Avengers lineups by having one of the central figures be a man of colour. And the truth is, Roddy Rhodes is a much more relatable and likeable everyman character. So in Brothers in Arms, this much more relatable and likeable everyman character is invading a third world country. Long-time viewers will know this is an idea I hate. A character gone into one of those, as Mo would say, loser countries, and then attempting to fix things over there. They do that a lot with War Machine. And I'd say that's another big reason why he should have stayed as Iron Man. Less of these War Machine stories with him committing war crimes. This redeems the plot just a tiny bit by saying that he actually went there to save someone who was trapped over there. That is the most acceptable use of the superhero guns to a third world country plot, but I still didn't like it. It's one of those things, when you put a superhero into a situation based on real events, I'll just be honest, it shouldn't be done. Even if it is a proxy or a substitute, the problem is that the superhero is either helpless to change things, which is boring, or worse, the superhero does change things, which is insulting. There have been some clever and some good stuff where they have taken inspiration from a real world thing, but I would say the overwhelming percentage of stories that they are pretty bad. The art in this is massively inconsistent. There are bits you can point to and say are good. There are bits you can say are really bad. I have been generous here and brought up the artistry on a page where it falls on the side of good. So, with War Machine getting up to some malarkey in another country, a mysteriously shadow-covered figure, who is clearly U.S.Agent, receives a telephone call to gun and intercept and stop War Machine. You see, Rhodey Rhodes is involving himself in all the civil wars going on in fictional country lands. And yeah, this is the stuff what I hate about these stories. So, the corrupt government of this country, they have brought in super agents of their own. The one with the red mask is called Hazard, spelt with an E. They have also, as well, U.S.Agent, who is once again being duped by rogue government officials into thrown in with the wrong team. You would think after about the fourth or fifth time that it happened to him, U.S.Agent would become suspicious of any phone call he gets out of the blue claiming to be a representative of the United States government. But he never does. He never once doubts it. And that is something to admire about this character. He is stupid in a special kind of way. He isn't necessarily dumb. He is just a fool. The reveal that we end on is Hawkeye is on the side of the rebels. This is during the time when Hawkeye was transformed into a poor man's Ara by the clueless editor of this and West Coast Avengers. They killed off his wife to have him gone off and be dark and gritty and serious. And then he almost never appeared. Since I made Marvel editor Michael Rockford famously cry with one of me videos, I think my next mission should be to make the editor of this and many other dreadful 90s Marvel books, Nelson Tom Tom, I want to make him swear at me. I actually think Nelson Tom Tom was much worse than Michael Rockford ever was. Michael Rockford was an editor who couldn't really manage books that should or could be good. They failed because of him not having a real handle on anything. Whereas Nelson Tom Tom was just a bad editor, forcing his bad ideas and bad takes onto all his bad books, and making writers do whatever he wanted, which was usually just to the benefit of making things supposedly cooler. I want to make that cunt swear like a fucking bastard mother pisser. This here is nearly all set up for a story, and there isn't much to say about it. I am finally reading it, I suppose, so 7 thumbs up.